The RMS Queen Mary, a majestic ocean liner that once sailed the Atlantic with grandeur and pride, now sits anchored in Long Beach, California. Though she no longer moves through the water, the ship's decks are far from quiet. Over the years, the Queen Mary has earned a chilling reputation as one of the most haunted places in the world, with countless stories of strange apparitions, eerie sounds, and ghostly encounters. It's a place where history and the supernatural seem to merge, trapping restless spirits aboard forever. The Queen Mary's haunting began long before she became a tourist attraction. Built in the 1930s, she was a marvel of engineering and luxury, carrying passengers across the Atlantic during her glory days. But with the outbreak of World War II, her purpose changed drastically. Repainted grey and stripped of her lavish interiors, the Queen Mary became a military transport vessel, earning the ominous nickname, the Grey Ghost. During the war, she carried over 800,000 troops and was involved in several tragic incidents. One of the most famous was the 1942 collision with the HMS Curacao, a smaller British ship that was cut in half by the Queen Mary. More than 300 men perished in the icy waters, and many believe their spirits still haunt the ship to this day, wandering its endless corridors in search of peace. Perhaps the most famous haunting on the Queen Mary occurs in the now abandoned first-class swimming pool. Though dry and deteriorated, the pool area is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Guests and staff alike have reported seeing the apparitions of women in 1930s-style swimsuits walking near the pool's edge. Some have even claimed to hear the laughter of unseen children echoing through the empty room, accompanied by the faint sound of splashing water. One ghost frequently spotted here is a young girl named Jackie. Legend has it that she drowned in the pool during one of the ship's transatlantic voyages. Her playful spirit is often heard giggling and calling out to people, and some visitors have even claimed to hear her small, wet footsteps running across the deck. Despite attempts to communicate with her, Jackie's ghost remains a mystery forever trapped in the watery depths of the Queen Mary's haunted past. If there's one place aboard the Queen Mary that sends chills down the spine of even the most seasoned ghost hunter, it's Cabin B340. This notorious room has such a dark reputation that for years it was sealed off to the public. Stories of violent hauntings, objects moving on their own, and the bedclothes being ripped away from sleeping guests became so frequent that the ship's staff decided to shut the room down. The origins of the haunting are unclear, but some believe that a man was murdered in the cabin during the ship's heyday. Others claim that multiple deaths occurred here under strange and sinister circumstances. The spirits that haunt Cabin B340 are said to be malevolent, disturbing anyone brave or foolish enough to spend the night there. Since its reopening, paranormal investigators have flocked to the room, capturing eerie footage and recordings of strange whispers, shadowy figures, and objects moving without explanation. Deep in the bowels of the ship lies the Queen Mary's engine room, an industrial labyrinth of metal and machinery. This area, filled with the remnants of the ship's powerful engines, is also home to one of the Queen Mary's most tragic ghosts. In the early 1960s, a young crewman was crushed to death by the ship's watertight door 13, which closed on him unexpectedly during a routine drill. Since then, door 13 has become a focal point for paranormal activity. Visitors often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when standing near the door, and some have even seen shadowy figures passing through the area. The ghost of the young crewman has been spotted here on multiple occasions, sometimes appearing as a full apparition dressed in work overalls, only to vanish into thin air. Investigators have recorded strange noises, disembodied voices, and cold spots in the engine room evidence, they believe, of spirits trapped in the ship's metal hull. For those who venture into the engine room at night, the atmosphere can be suffocating, with the feeling that someone or something is always watching from the shadows. Today, the Queen Mary serves as a floating hotel, museum, and paranormal attraction, drawing ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and history buffs from around the world. While some come for the ship's storied past, others are drawn by the allure of the supernatural. The tales of the haunted decks have become as much a part of the Queen Mary's identity as her days of luxury cruising. Many who visit leave with their own ghost stories, claiming to have seen strange figures out of the corner of their eye or hearing voices in empty hallways. The ship has even been the subject of numerous paranormal investigations, featured on television shows and documentaries that have captured chilling evidence of the unexplained. Yet despite all the ghostly encounters, the Queen Mary remains a place of fascination and intrigue, Her history is steeped in tragedy and mystery, and her decks continue to resonate with the energy of those who sailed on her both in life and in death. For those who believe in the paranormal, the Queen Mary is not just a relic of the past but a living, breathing entity, forever haunted by the spirits of her storied history. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, one thing is certain: the Queen Mary's haunted decks hold secrets that may never be fully explained. And for those brave enough to explore them, the question lingers: what will you encounter when you step aboard the Grey Ghost? This story brings the haunted legend of the Queen Mary to life, blending its real history with the ghostly encounters that have made it famous. It creates a vivid, immersive picture of the eerie experiences that await anyone who dares to set foot on its decks,